Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nazarene Veronica and today I'm back with another reaction video. I'm going to react to a Middle Ground Jubilee video of, well, it's about liberal versus conservative lesbians. I already know this is going to be so funny. Yeah, let's just get straight into it.
The LGBTQIA+ community has moved too far to the left.
Oof, girl. How many letters are there? How many? 100?
It's difficult because, you know, I think what was once like a very loving and accepted community has pushed so far to the left that, you know, we're seeing this massive pendulum swing that is coming back the other direction that is going to put our entire community, unfortunately, in danger because—
It already has.
It already has, because it has gone so far to the left rather than being a good common sense middle ground that now people who did not used to carry a prejudice against us or have an issue with our community are suddenly finding themselves to have prejudice against the LGBTQ community.
We have prejudice against ourselves.
That's true.
This is also true. Loads of people I know never had a problem with gay people or lesbians or, you know, well, yeah, those were the only two things back then. It was just LG, and now it's LGBTQIA+. Like, what is that? And when did it get so inclusive? And yeah, I'm finding now a lot of people, now that like it's not just lesbians and gay people, now it's like everything, literally. Like, you can choose whatever gender you want to be. You can choose to identify as a cat if you want to, and that's just like queer, you know, or whatever. People are like, okay, you've gone too far. Now I'm going to turn against all of you together because you're choosing to band yourself into one group. And then the people who are just lesbian or gay and weren't bothering anyone and they were just, you know, living their own life and doing whatever they wanted to do are now getting pushed away as well because it's connected, although it's not really connected. They've connected themselves to lesbian and gay people, which makes people hate everyone in that group. And it's unfortunate, to be honest, because, you know, then if people want to live their life a certain way, then that's okay. But anyway.
Even I'm developing a prejudice.
Yeah, like I
at this
can't
point.
stand lesbians now. Like, there are people here, and I won't call out individuals, but there are people here that I was friends with, that I literally went on vacations with, that have unfriended me, unfollowed me, just for simply standing up for young lesbians and gay men who are calling themselves all these other genders, or because I'm not for children transitioning, or just because I voted for Trump, you know. And it's a shame because we don't want to be a hive mind, right? We are, like, the whole point of being, one of the points of us being lesbians is that we're different. We have different outlooks on life. We have different talents.
I feel like with a lot of marginalized groups, the biggest downfalls to them is simply when usually outside groups create division, a left and a right. The left doesn't accept the right doesn't accept the left, and then that divides all of us. Instead of being one powerful group, it just crumbles. We're divided.
I think it's unfortunate that sexuality is tied to a, you know, political outlook to begin with. That is no longer like, oh, Republicans don't want gay people to exist. Like, that's not a thing anymore. And I think it's so unfortunate how politicized our entire community has become.
I think it's important to note that we're here calling ourselves conservative lesbians, but we're really, like, some of us aren't really conservatives. We're just non-leftists. And we haven't really moved. Like, people call me a grifter, whatever they want to call me. I haven't moved over the years. I've been stagnant. Like, I am set in my morals. I'm in my mid-30s. Like, I know where I'm at. And people, mainly the LGBT, whatever community, moved further and further left. I stayed where I was, and somehow I was the one that was ostracized.
Well, that's because what used to be moderate is now considered conservative. And what used to be your general liberal, which I think a lot of us at one point probably aligned ourselves with, is no longer that. It is so far past that, which, you know, I had to draw a hard line. I'm not with this anymore.
We all can have different beliefs. You can be this race and still think this way, or be gay and think this way. So it's just really sad to see. And I feel like, you know, our community has been used so much to push other things. Like, 100%. We're being used as a shield. So everyone—
Queers for Palestine, really? Really? Go to Palestine as a queer person. See what happens. Somebody's gonna have to sit next to me.
conservatism itself means that you like the things that are going now and that traditionally it's going good for you, for us. I personally disagree with that because of the things that I have been through. The discrimination from everyone, doesn't matter whether they're left or right or, not part of the community, is not working for us. It's not working for me, at least.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, for sure.
You know how people on the left have redefined the word woman?
What do you mean by that?
A lot of people that identify on the far left, LGBT or not, have redefined the word woman to mean basically anything.
Yeah, I'm non-binary. I use they, them pronouns.
So there you go. Okay, so you have changed the meaning or the whatever, right? Conservatism is just the opposite of leftism at this point, as far as I'm concerned. So I just want to make sure that that is
what are you
known.
saying the opposite of leftism? Could you?
The new age conservatives are really old age libertarians or like moderates or just classic liberals for the most part. So I just to make sure like we're on the same page a little bit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that because we are growing, if you want to include more people, because technically the lesbian flag has changed to an orange stripe for non-men such as myself. I still identify as a lesbian. I'm still here.
Can I ask you how you identify as a lesbian when you're not a woman?
Because I'm a non-man. Because
that's a terrible definition in my opinion, but that's fine. You're allowed to.
Okay, so you're not a woman, you're a they, them, but you're still a lesbian. How? How is that possible? I think they're confused. Look at the look at the face. Look at the face. You look confused yourself. You don't even understand your own science behind what you're saying because there is no science behind what you're saying.
Believe what you believe because I believe in freedom of speech. But
so I believe in including everyone. It doesn't matter what other people go by. I think that being left and having this conversation go to left means that we don't care anymore. Everyone can be a part of the community, no matter who you are. Labels don't matter as much as they did back then because it was only the LGB. When we're moving towards the left, we're moving towards the future, including more people.
Sometimes gatekeeping is a good thing, though. Yeah. And sometimes segregation is a good thing.
Why?
Well,
why?
Well, how? Okay, so
I'm talking a lot, guys.
You're saying that like you guys are accepting more,
Absolutely.
everything like that. So where's the line then? Because then we have straight people. So then why have a community if everybody's in the community?
Yeah.
If you self-identify in the community, then we're all there for each other. If you're straight and you identify as straight, you are not part of the community. I do not identify as straight. I identify as a non-binary lesbian because the lesbian community has accepted me because I don't feel comfortable in my gender identity because growing up I didn't feel, accepted in the lesbian community. So now that we're moving left and we're accepting more people into it, I'm finally accepted in the community. People, actually do accept non-binary lesbians.
If you don't identify as a woman, and a lesbian is a woman who loves another woman, then why would you not identify as queer? And yes, we're going to labels here, but like genuine curiosity, I'm trying to understand, because if a lesbian is no longer a woman who's sexually attracted to another woman, then a lesbian can be
Anybody.
A man.
Which is literally what's happening in the world right now.
That's the problem.
Like straight up dudes that are not trans women.
Oh my gosh! Wait, look at the way that this person's doing their hands like that because you can just see that they know that they're wrong and they don't know how to. I mean, I'm just gonna say she because it's a she, like it's a woman. She doesn't know how to admit she's wrong and she's embarrassed because she knows she's gone too far and she can't go back now. So she's gonna carry on with this lie and this facade. And the body language just says it all. Like, watch this.
Happening in the world right now.
That's the problem.
Like straight up dudes that are not trans women, straight up dudes going on lesbian dating apps and calling us transphobic and
I think there's a bit of a gray area there. If sorry to interrupt, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm under the impression that with non-binary lesbians there's a bit of a gray area because you can often have a very similar experience than a woman who is a lesbian being non-binary because if you
because we're all female. You could
well,
say
if you're assigned female at birth and you date women and before you knew you were non-binary.
She's like, because we're female? Go on, you can say it. Go on, you can say it.
You were all, would imagine you were often in lesbian spaces and that's what you identified with. So why should you be excluded from that community just because
Oh.
now you know you are?
I actually know who this woman is. I think, wait, let me just see if it's the same. I think it is the same person. I think this woman was going out with this old lady. Let me try and see. Julia. Here she is. Check this out. That is who she is dating. She's literally dating that. Let me see. My wife is 37 years older than me. This is her. Okay, that's definitely her.
Or non-binary, for example.
I think, like, colloquially speaking, like, now we define lesbian as being like non-men loving non-men.
I think there's a very small subset of people that define it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, like, people that
I'm just
I
being
know.
honest.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine.
I've never heard that. Who says a lesbian is a non-man who loves another non-man? That doesn't exist. I've never heard of that in my life.
It's like
Circles,
people who
different
have,
circles.
yeah, absolutely. But I think also, like, language is always conformed around people and communities. Like, being trans and being non-binary is not a new thing. This has existed in, like, pre-modern society. It's not new. It's always existed, and language is always conformed around people. Like, we don't make things up and then people start identifying as them. Like, we conform language to fit identity. And, like, it's always been that way.
Although I do think people make up words and say that.
That's also true.
I'm sorry.
No,
they
that's
do.
also true. There's 100
a
genders now.
million genders that people have literally just made up. It did not
Frog,
exist.
frog, self.
What does it affect you? What other people identify?
I don't. I
It
don't
doesn't.
care.
If
I'm
they
just saying.
self-identify.
Yeah, absolutely.
Self-identify as a potato.
I feel like a very small group has become the example. There's a small group of left and there's a small group of right that are louder than everybody else, and then everybody else is being forgotten.
Absolutely.
I think one thing that separated us is that I think you often, and I'm not trying to just point out, but since I am the friend of yours, that I can no longer support you because you don't support me, right? If you, I'm explaining, right?
Okay.
Because I believe that when you use your voice, you were coming from a place of privilege without realizing that the things that you were sharing were negatively attacking me and my lifestyle. You are able to have privilege because you don't show up like I show up. You're not a woman of color. You're not masculine. So it's easy for you to say,
Oh my gosh, what is going on? The privilege. I can't be friends with you because you're privileged and you're not black and you don't understand where I'm coming from. Like, why has that got anything to do with anything? Like, unless this person literally posted racist things saying, I hate black people, that's a reason to stop being friends with her. But I know for a fact she didn't do that. Oh my gosh.
say, oh yeah, this is okay, but you're not realizing that you're forgetting me and my existence and what I might need. We're under attack. LGBTQIA plus is under attack. We have 650 plus anti-LGBTQ bills attacking our existence. A lot of y'all talk about, how it's mostly attacking trans kids, which we all should be pissed. If anybody's attacking our kids, we should all be pissed. But 350 plus attacking the LGB, which y'all want to just emphasize and say everybody else doesn't count. It's this, but we are all being attacked. And so for you to not see that is privilege. And I think that I just really need you to understand that.
Would you like to comment as a woman of color?
Yeah, absolutely. So what laws are affecting lesbian women of color?
In Florida right now, if there's a lesbian couple, because there's a lesbian couple that are going through this right now. Right now, if somebody calls the cops on a lesbian couple saying that they're being inappropriate, they could face jail time. Just for someone calling them and having to go through.
Children,
I don't know if that's
totally
true.
fine.
If that is, then you text me because I'll go to the same.
I've never
myself.
heard
It
of
is
that,
true.
and there's not many. I would love to hear all of these laws that are affecting me. As I am an American, and I have every right as everybody else does. I have nothing stopping me from getting married, owning my own home, starting my own business. Nothing.
Raising kids.
That's
having
privilege.
How is that privilege?
But
How am
she's
I
also a
privileged?
person of color.
I'm a person of
person
color.
of color.
I know, but you
So how
show
is
up
that
differently than I do.
How?
But I'm a person
A
of
person of
color.
color.
I know, but you
So how
show
is
up
that-
differently than I do.
How?
But
you
But what-
presented
Your
us
mask?
then had
You show up differently than I do. What does that even mean? I don't think she even knows what that means herself.
has no
Wait,
effect
so,
on that.
So since you,
And being black.
I am also black. So what? I'm black and Hispanic. So what?
Me too.
What laws are different for you? I would like to
Okay,
know.
well, if you want to talk afterward, I got you.
Okay.
I am on the board of Lambda Legal. We're fighting.
Wait, why do you want to talk afterwards? Talk now. Like, that's what the whole show is about. Just talk on the show.
These 650 plus anti-LGBTQ bills, I have a list for you. Also, there's so many documentaries. The thing is, I think what you want to just battle with me instead of understanding that we just live differently. Our experiences are different.
That's
so
with
all I'm
anybody,
asking
correct.
y'all to do is understand that.
We're trying
I'm
to
not trying to
understand.
take away from
No, absolutely
you and
not.
whatever, but being able to be in that mindset without understanding somebody else's experience is privilege. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand.
If I could butt in real quick, I want to go back to what, earlier you guys were saying, kind of the LGB, blah, blah, blah. That's also not caring about the rest of the humans that self-identify as those people. We want to respect those people. Even if we don't agree with them, we're still going to respect them no matter what. I may not agree with you guys, but I'm still going to respect you and what you self-identify as, which hopefully you will do the same to us, which is what you're saying, that the left is becoming right. That makes no sense because we're trying to advocate for the change. The right is becoming right. That makes no sense because we're trying to advocate for the change. The right is advocating for keeping things the way they are.
Why we're running into all of these anti-LGBTQ legislation, as you put it, is because things have gone so far liberal that now we're facing this backlash from the traditional ultra-right community, which is why all of these bills are coming up, which is endangering our community as a whole. And I think that that is the basis of this. We have gone too far this way, and now this side is coming back to fight us.
I think there has been a lot of progress in the last few years, well, few decades, and there is definitely a backlash from the far right because of that. But I don't think the solution to that is to say, oh, let's go back and be less progressive. I think we just need to carry on, and there will be backlash, but eventually those people will just get used to it. But I think it is a shame to be so divided because that can't be good for the community.
That's true, and we also have to take accountability for our own community. Like, we aren't above anybody else. We need to take accountability and call out when it happens. We can't sit here and just be like, oh, poor me, our community, everyone hates us. Like, what are we doing?
Why are we bringing that
these
to
laws
ourselves?
coming up? So most of the laws that are coming up, and the reason why acceptance of us has gone down
Women and children are being targeted.
That's
it. Don't mess with the women and children.
Women and children, that's not an attack against our community. That's people defending their group of people. You come for someone's kids, there's going to be lots of laws, and I hope that there would. Sorry, you come from women's spaces, I hope those women there's going to be laws. It's not an attack on us. It's an attack on these things happening and why our acceptance is going down so much.
Thank you. She said it so perfectly. Literally, do not come for women or children. And when you do, you're going to see the consequences. And these are the consequences. People are going to start hating you. And if you accept it and if you think it's okay and if you advocate for it, as that person's doing, this non-privileged person who's got such a hard life, people are going to hate you too. So you're doing it to yourself, really. Anyway, I'll end this video here. Otherwise, it might get a bit too long. But yeah, just delusion on the left. Absolute delusion. If you enjoyed watching this video and you found it funny, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And I'll see you in the next video.